Many businesses around the world are adopting corporate social responsibility. And there are many good reasons for this, motivated by both philanthropic and self-serving interests. But what standards do legislators hold these organisations to? And what independent standards can organisations adopt to demonstrate their CSR credentials? It's frankly impossible for me to discuss all of the regulatory frameworks in all of the different states and nations around the world. But it is worth identifying some of the elements of corporate social responsibility that have found their way into different legislative frameworks. Although that legislation will be different in each jurisdiction, in general, you'll find a number of familiar things that include things like employment protection, equal opportunities and discrimination legislation, maternal, paternal and carer rights, consumer protection and product liabilities, environmental protection, and health and safety legislation. All of these types of legislation or regulation have the impact of compelling organisations within different jurisdictions to comply with certain elements of the corporate social responsibility framework. And often, the very best of the multinational organisations are making a choice to comply with the very highest standards that pertain across all of the different jurisdictions within which they operate. In addition, the accounting industry and the corporate oversight bodies in different countries are building corporate social responsibility into their own frameworks. This means you'll find elements of CSR in corporate governance standards and in mandatory reporting requirements to regulators and shareholders. However, many companies don't just take on social responsibilities purely to comply with regulatory requirements. Many do so to gain marketing or reputational benefits, or purely for selfless philanthropic reasons. Some companies really do believe it's the right thing to do, particularly owner-managed businesses. In these, the owners can exercise their own consciences in how they deploy the organisation's resources, its services, and its profits. For many of these, their exercise of corporate social responsibility extends well beyond their commercial operations. Some of these become valued brands within their industries. So for many of these companies then, there will be a desire to hold themselves to some form of objective standard, and possibly even to receive some form of accreditation which will demonstrate their CSR credentials to their customers, to their investors, their shareholders, and to their communities. There are 4 standards and accreditations that I am currently aware of. The Sustainability Accounting Standards Board. This is an established environmental, social and governance framework that sets standards for reporting on the financial impact of a company's sustainability efforts to investors and other stakeholders. B-Lab's B-corp certification. B-Lab is the non-profit network that aims to transform the global economy to benefit people, communities and the planet. Certified B corporations or B Corps are verified by B-Lab in a rigorous process every 3 years, which vouches for the high standards of social and environmental performance, accountability and transparency. ISEAL Code Compliance. ISEAL helps companies meet their sustainability commitments and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. An independent verification provider determines whether a business meets ISEAL's Code of Good Practice and if the business is ISEAL code compliant, this offers a reputable seal of approval for a company's sustainability claims. The International Organization for Standardization's ISO 26000. The International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, created a set of voluntary standards to help companies implement corporate social responsibility, which is ISO 26000. This provides voluntary guidance rather than requirements, and its standards cannot be certified. But it does represent an international consensus because of the many stakeholders from around the world that have contributed to its development. Instead, ISO 26000 clarifies what social responsibility is and shows organisations how to translate CSR principles into practical actions. So, in summary, organisations around the world are compelled to comply with some elements of corporate social responsibility by the legislation and the regulation within their jurisdiction. But beyond that, if they wish to demonstrate their compliance to higher standards, there are a number of standardization or certification bodies whose services they can employ to give them some form of accreditation, or whose standards they can follow in a voluntary manner. Please do give this video a like if you've enjoyed it or learned from it. I'll be making loads more great management courses content for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.